I'm super excited to share with you a really awesome feature by an amazing company called Magnific, and it is their style transfer feature. Now, in a previous lesson, we have covered how Magnific essentially reimagines and upscales your images. You can make minor tweaks. So this is a really exciting tool for a couple of different reasons. One, if I wanted to make an animation and I have a real life image, I can give it a reference of an animated character with my real life image, and I can essentially tell it to combine those two. I'm going to dive into that today, but what I'm really excited about to show you first is how you can adapt drawings and storyboards specifically to make them real life. So as you know, the more specific you are with Midjourney, the more you try to direct it, sometimes the harder it is to actually get really good results that you're looking for. So if you have storyboards or any hand drawings, you can essentially use those as a reference and make them come to life. So this works great if you are a storyboard artist or you're a director and you're hand drawing, or if you are not in film, you're a product designer, any kind of drawing you have, if you wanted to bring it to life, this is a really great tool to do that. So I'm going to demonstrate with a couple of storyboards here, and I'm going to show you exactly what it does. So I have a concept. It is about a fisherman in Greece, and I have these storyboards here. Now, Midjourney hasn't really given me the type of shot that I want, with the back here. Prompt these in Midjourney, it might take me quite some time, especially to get this very specific shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up each of these little panels, and I'm going to take it into Magnific, and I'm going to say, hey, let's make this real life. So I have a couple of different ones here that I'm going to go through. There's this one and this one. I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to go to Midjourney and I'm going to pull up a prompt that I want for a reference for it. So I have this old man. I want him to be our character. I want him to encounter a mysterious dark figure in the Greek ocean. That was my prompt. And this is the image. So I am going to go to Magnific over here. And right here, we've been playing with the upscale tool. I'm going to change this to the style transfer tool. It's going to give me these two sections right here. So we are going to input our storyboard image here, and we are going to input the reference that we want to influence that storyboard so they can mesh together. And then we're going to write a prompt and play with a couple of little bits and pieces here. So let's navigate to our storyboard, and I am going to drag and drop that right there. And then for our reference image, I'm going to navigate to this one, and I'm going to drag and drop. And in the prompt here, I'm going to say back of an old man in jacket in foreground. And then I'm going to write Greek ocean in background. So I want the foreground here is the old man and the background here is that. Now you'll notice in our reference image, you'll notice in our storyboard, it's not really an old man, it's just a character. And I want him to be this exact same old man. There's some sun here. So I'm actually going to say Greek ocean in background with the sunshine. Okay. And I am going to leave my style strength at 100 because I want this reference image to be 100% influence over this. I want it to be as realistic as possible. I'm going to put the structure strength at 100 because I want it to be exactly in this shot. And I'm going to change a couple of things here. I'm going to leave this to faithful. I want it to be faithful to our reference. You can toggle these on and it will sort of tell you what each thing is. So faithful is the best for transferring the style of a reference image, but if you have a high level of structure strength, it can sort of overload the image. So this first output might be a little bit funky. We might need to change this, but let's see what we get. And then you have a couple of other different settings here that we're not going to play with just yet. So I'm going to leave it on faithful. There's a couple of different settings here. I'm going to change this to real. And I am going to click on transform and see what I get. Okay, wow. This is our render. Pretty neat, although his hair here is getting a little bit funky, but that is giving us a really awesome base. Check that out. Wow. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so we definitely overloaded it a little bit. Could be why we're getting some anomalies here. So let's just change our structure strength to about 85 and let's redo that. That might get rid of some of these lines as well. And there we have it. That is way better. Check that out. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Not too worried about this here. We'll just crop this in and upscale it. But that is a really, really phenomenal render. That is absolutely outstanding. See how it's recognized these lines are the ocean. We have our sun. We still have a couple of lines up here. Now we can get rid of those in Photoshop, or we can just change our structure strength over here. So let's just change it to 60% and see what that does. Now for me to prompt this in Midjourney in this exact shot would have taken me quite some time. So this is abso-freaking-lutely game-changing. Okay. And this is at 60%. There we go. It's gotten rid of the lines. Taking a little bit liberty here, thinking that these are some mountains, but that's okay. What we can do to fix that is we can go back here and we can say lots of clouds in the sky, no mountains. Now let's take a look at our reference image here. The color tone is pretty much the same. His hair is the same length. We don't see the front of him, so I'm not too worried about the beard. It's just really taken into consideration that that's the back of his head, and it's figured out that he has shorter hair, that his hair length is here. Absolutely outstanding. Now it's given us some mountains because our reference image has some mountains there. So it's really figured out that we are now behind this man and we are looking the other way and we are seeing a sunrise. Like, you know, if we turn this around, we'd see the sun over here and we would see some more mountains. So it's really great at putting this story together. Now let's have a look here. That's another version with some clouds. Phenomenal. Okay, so this image is a little bit blurry. I really like this. I kind of want to get rid of a couple of clouds here. So I'm going to download this one right here and I'm going to upscale this. So I'm just going to open up my download over here and I'm going to take this into Photoshop. I'm just going to crop it to be pretty much where I want this to be. So I have my ratio up here on 16:9. And that's the crop right there. Just going to take it in a little bit. I want to get rid of some of these clouds. So I'm just going to lasso over a couple of these clouds. I'm going to use the generative fill tool to type remove. It's going to give me 3 options. 1, 2, 3. There's still a few clouds I don't want here. I don't want these lines up here. So let's just get rid of those ones. And let's just type in, make sure everything's highlighted there. Just type in remove. That's pretty good. I really like that. It's less triangular. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to go back over here into Magnific. I'm going to keep this prompt and copy it. And I'm going to change this back over to the upscale. And I'm going to drag this particular image that we just did because we want to now like really polish it up. Still blurry. I think his face is a little bit warped here. So let's bring it in over here. I'm going to keep the style factor to 2x. I'm going to optimize this for film and photography. And I am going to paste that same prompt here just so it's got the same parameters and reference, which is the back of an old man in a jacket in the foreground, Greek ocean in the background with sunshine, lots of clouds in the sky. And just to make sure that we're not really changing it too much, I'm going to keep resemblance to about 8 over here. I'm going to HDR number 1. And I'm going to keep the creativity at 0. We really want to make just some minor adjustments. I'm going to upscale that. And there we have it. That is our original, pretty pixelated. And that's definitely much better. It's kind of losing the curls in his hair. So we can go back here and we can say back of an old man with white curly hair. And we can put the resemblance to 9, just so it's really trying to resemble the original. And let's just re-roll that. All right, and there we have some curls back in his hair. They're not there in this one, and they're here, there. So there we go. Boom. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So if we wanted to make that even higher res, let's say this is still feeling too out of focus, we can download this. And we can grab our downloaded picture here and we can bring it back over here to upload. And we can literally just run it again one more time. So it's going to sharpen up with the same parameters, the same image that we just downloaded. And look at that. Yeah, look at that. That's absolutely amazing. There we go. So let's have a look at a side-by-side over here. It's our original storyboard right here. And this is our style transfer to our old man over here. Still taking in the fact that he's got a hoodie jacket right there. The type of boat, that it's wooden. The sun with the clouds and some mountains. And it's really complementing this image right here. Let's try it with a couple more storyboards. I'm going to pick this man right here, and I want him to be the old man. So I'm going to go back over here to style transfer. I'm going to pop that in. I'm going to keep the old man, and we're going to say old man in jacket and foreground, in shock, because he's about to encounter a mysterious character, which is in our story. Greek ocean in the background with sunshine on his face, lots of clouds in the sky. And we're going to keep the parameters that worked really well for us. So style strength was 100, structure strength was 60, faithful and real. I'm going to go transform. And let's take a look. Wowzers. Look at that. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Phenomenal. There we go. Okay, so the boat here, it's kind of nothing at this point. So I need to actually go back here and I'm going to say sitting in a kayak boat, because that's what I want him to be. I'm actually just going to move that up to here. Now you'll notice his beard is a bit shorter here than in this image. That is purely because the drawing I have has his beard at that length. I'm going to say long beard, because the drawing, I actually drew it a little bit shorter. So we want a longer beard. I'm going to change the structure strength to about 55 so it can account for that. And I'm going to tell it I want this to be a kayak boat, which is here. And I'm going to go transform. Okay, let's take a look. That is definitely now a wooden boat. There we go. His beard's a little bit longer, but it's stopped there purely because I haven't overdrawn this. So that's okay. Wow. I'm going to download that. And this time I really want the reference to be our original old man here. So instead of doing it in the upscale the way we did, I'm actually just going to change this input image just to clean it up. I'm just going to grab our download, which is right here. And I'm going to use that as the input image this time. And I'm going to keep this all the same. And I am going to transform that. Okay, let's take a look at our results. There we go. That's looking a little bit more like our man because we have given it this previous reference. So we're getting a longer beard, much closer to the jacket and the style that is in there. So that's how we just clean that up to make it resemble the same old man. And we can change that structural strength now. You know, we can go down to 40%. Let's just see what it does there. Okay, now this is our man. And this is with a 40%. So we can really make our man look like our original dude over here, which is eyes now looking at the camera. Don't really want that, but that's just to fix the mistake there of the fact that his beard was not as long as it should have been. So there we go. I'm just going to change that one more time. I'm going to say eyes looking to the left. Transform that. There we go. His eyes are looking to the left. Perfect. So that's just a wonderful thing about Magnific, is that it will also just make those tiny tweaks as you tell it and readjust it. It's really good at listening. That's pretty much in the same realm that I wanted it to be, and it's fixed his beard because I didn't overdraw it, and I did that by giving it the reference of the old man once again and just changing our structural strength over here. So I'm going to download that. I'm going to upscale it a little bit, so I'm going to go over back to our upscale, and I'm going to drag and drop it in. I'm just going to copy this prompt for this image here just so we have exactly the same reference point. And resemblance at 100, HDR 1. I'm going to change the fractality to 1 just to give him some detail in that face. Way more detailed. It's a nice little pass over there. It's probably a little... Now, just to give him a little bit more separation, I can download this and I can open it up and I can drag and drop him into Lightroom over here. Just going to get rid of our edges. I'm just going to aspect ratio to 16:9, and I'm just going to get rid of some of those edges so we can stay close to our original there. And I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click on lens blur and apply, and it's going to estimate the depth of the image for us. Okay, now that's super blurred out, so I'm just going to cool off that blur to about 20%. Just to give it a little bit of oomph. That's before, that's after. Just kind of like look around here. So there you go. Just so you can see the difference. Just a minor difference, but for me, I really like it. His hair is kind of going out here. So what I can do is I can just go visualize depth. And I can click the focus brush here. Change the brush size to something really small. And just kind of draw over these hairs a little bit. And this is just if you really want to be a perfectionist about it. You don't obviously have to do this step, but it depends on whether you are going to animate this image later or if you're just using it for storyboards. I'm just going to make sure these are yellow because yellow is hot and hot means in focus. We want these to be in focus. It's not the best drawing, but you know, you get the general idea. I'm going to toggle off visualize depth here. There you go. His hair is now in focus. Hooray! Okay, and that, we're going to export that. And we are going to look at our before and afters. So this was our before. And that's our after. Absolutely insane. And pretty much really similar to this guy right here. So I feel like they're the same. They're nearly the same person. So there's a lot of character consistency going on. Now, I should mention this is not exclusive to just human characters. We can do it with pretty much anything. So if we go back to our style transfer, I'm going to navigate here. I have a really cute little robot encountering a young boy in a spaceship. So I'm going to drag and drop this little robot. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, imagine, just to give it a reference image, spaceship interior, young boy, cute robot. Just to sort of see what I get. Okay, so these are our results. This one's combined. Let's just pick one of these. I feel like this one could be good, and it's probably going to use these elements to make up our robot. So let's just see. You could be really specific with it. At this point, I'm just using this as a test, so I'm not being super specific. I was with the previous one, but for this one, I want to see what it does. Okay, so we've put our storyboard in here, and we are now going to drag over our reference. I'm going to say young boy encounters a robot inside a spaceship. Okay. And I'm going to do the structural strength back to, I think it was pretty good around the 85 mark. And I'm going to keep this at real. And look at that. How cute. So it's really looked at the overall, the original image and made up our robot with that. Actually really, really love that. He's got a backpack on, his hair is right. There we go. You can also just change this. You can make it a cartoon, anime, caricature. I'm just going to pop up some examples here. Here I'm going to pull up an image of a robot I made that I really like. He's super cute, and I really want him to fit into this storyboard style. I am going to combine him with this image of the boy because I really like the structural part of the spaceship. So what I've done is I've just literally, like very scrappy, pasted the robot into this scene. You can see a line here, like it's really not perfect. I'm just trying to tell Magnific that there's a boy in this scene and there's a robot in this scene, and they're the two characters that I want, and I want you to put them together based on my storyboard. So just going to save that really quickly. Going to take it back in, use the faithful balanced tool, and this is my result. Boom, there's my boy and there's my robot. So cute. And I'm going to use that same reference and put it in a couple of other storyboards in the scene of this particular robot that encounters this human boy for the first time. And these are what they look like. Another really cool thing to note is that you are not limited to one panel per image. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you can actually have multiple panels of your storyboard, and you can use the one image to style transfer. So this is an example of our robot with 4 images of the robot and 1 image of the reference, and it's just done all 4 at once. That's a huge time saver. The other thing that you can do is you can add some custom textures to realize your monsters and aliens. So here's another example of that. So that is how you transform a storyboard or a drawing into a real life image. You can apply that to pretty much any industry. You can do this for architectural renders. You can do this for product design. You can do this for pretty much anything. It is absolutely incredible. I could even turn myself into an animated character if I wanted to, which I have and I will share that with you in a later lesson. So go forth, have fun. And shout out to the guys at Magnific. They are honestly absolutely incredible with what they've created here. And I really, really mean it when I say this program has become my ride or die. I absolutely love it. Hope you enjoyed this lesson.